My sister stood up at our mother's funeral reception, looked at 40 relatives holding paper plates of ham biscuits and said, "Someone's been stealing from Mama for years, and we all know who." Then she looked straight at me. Nobody moved. Nobody asked her what she meant. They just slowly turned their heads toward me, like I'd already been convicted in a courtroom I didn't know existed. But let me take you back to where this started. My name is David Whitfield. I'm 62 years old, and I live 20 minutes from where I grew up, in North Charleston, South Carolina. I spent the last 6 years of my mother's life driving over every Sunday, filling her pill organizer, sitting with her through 3 hospital stays. My younger sister, Patricia, lived closer, had power of attorney on the bank accounts, and handled the money side, as she called it. I never asked questions. She was family. You don't audit family. What I didn't know yet, standing in that fellowship hall with a paper plate going cold in my hand, was that the real thief in our family had just figured out how to point the finger first. By the time I got home that night, my phone had 11 missed messages. Cousins, aunts, people I hadn't spoken to in years, all asking the same question in different words: is it true? Patricia didn't call me directly. She didn't need to. She'd already removed me from the family group chat by the time I sat down at my kitchen table to figure out what was happening to my own name. I sat there in the quiet of my kitchen, untouched coffee going cold, and realized something simple and brutal: she hadn't accused me by accident. She'd done it in a room full of witnesses on purpose, where I'd have no chance to answer back. The estate meeting with the family lawyer got scheduled for the following month. I found out about it from my cousin, not from Patricia. When I called the lawyer's office myself to confirm, the assistant said carefully that Patricia had asked them not to include me until some financial questions got sorted out. I wasn't being treated like a grieving son anymore. I was being treated like a suspect in my own mother's death, not of harming her but of robbing her, which somehow felt worse, because it tried to rewrite every Sunday I'd shown up. Betrayal from family doesn't arrive like a slap. It moves in slowly, like termites behind a wall. You don't see the damage until the day something you trusted finally gives way under your feet. I had 2 choices. I could call Patricia and scream into the phone, demand she take it back in front of the same people who'd heard her say it, or I could do something slower and harder and far more dangerous to her than yelling ever would be. I hired a forensic accountant. Cost me almost $400. I didn't love spending, but some things you pay for with money so you don't have to pay for them with your name. I gave him 3 years of my mother's bank statements, pulled from records I was still legally entitled to as a co-beneficiary. I didn't tell a single person what I was doing. I just kept showing up to family events, calm, polite, saying nothing, letting Patricia believe silence meant surrender. 3 weeks later, the accountant called me on a Tuesday morning and asked me to sit down before he told me what he'd found. For 3 straight years, there'd been recurring withdrawals from our mother's account, always between the 28th and the 1st of the month, always in amounts between $400 and $600. I assumed medical costs. I was wrong. Those dates lined up almost to the day with Patricia's own mortgage due date, her house, not our mother's. The money side Patricia had handled so quietly for 6 years hadn't been keeping our mother afloat. It had been keeping Patricia afloat, using our mother's savings as a personal safety net. The same savings she'd accused me, in front of 40 people, of stealing. I didn't post it online. I didn't call a single relative. I brought the report, in a plain manila folder, to the rescheduled estate meeting, and I set it on the lawyer's desk without a word. The lawyer read through it in silence while Patricia sat 2 chairs down from me, still convinced she held the upper hand. When he finally looked up and asked her to explain the withdrawal pattern, I watched her face change the way a house does right before it settles. A small crack first, then everything shifting at once. She didn't yell. She didn't deny it for long. She just said, quietly, that she'd meant to pay it back. I believe somewhere underneath all of it she might have meant to. That didn't change whose name she'd been willing to burn down to protect her own. I didn't ask the family to apologize to me. I didn't need a group chat re-invitation or a tearful toast at Thanksgiving. I asked Patricia to set up a repayment plan into the estate, quietly, without lawyers chasing her through a courtroom. Some debts are better settled in private than paraded in public. Even when the original sin happened in public first, I never asked anyone to apologize. I just needed my name back. Has someone in your own family ever let you take the blame for something you didn't do?